Hello everybody and welcome to the Showcast, a series of candid conversations from the world of film, brought to you by The Film Verdict and hosted by yours truly, Matt Micucci. Today we are bringing you another conversation from the 2024 AVP Summit in Reggio Calabria in Italy, as we sit down for a conversation with Jacopo Chessa, head of one of the most important film commissions in Italy, the Veneto Film Commission. Chessa provides us with an overview of the commission's various activities, talks about some of the more noteworthy productions that were recently shot in the region, and even discusses some of the more forward-thinking initiatives, strategies and projects that it has embraced as of late. He also offers his thoughts on the current audiovisual sector at large and whether Italy has been quick to embrace innovations, as well as his own cinephilia and how it has impacted his professional journey. So fire up an Audiotini and listen to the audio waves as they fly through the air. This is the Showcast. Hello, Jacopo. Welcome to the Showcast, first of all.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Well, isn't it wonderful to be at the AVP Summit and in this beautiful location? I'd never been.
Me neither.
Right?
It's first time in Calabria for me.
It's a wonderful place. Wonderful place. Wonderful. We've got the sea right outside. Are you a good swimmer?
Yeah, no, not really.
No, so there may not be. Me neither. I was born in a seaside city. I grew up in one and I still cannot swim very well. Isn't that crazy? I guess that's the way it goes. But Jacopo, AVP Summit, the Audiovisual Producers Summit. People are coming from all over the world. And you yourself represent one of Italy's, can I say it, most important, prestigious film commissions, the Veneto Film Commission. Before we talk about that, one of the things that I like to do for these interviews is to just find out more about the people I speak with on a personal level, you know. And since I'm a cinephile and, you know, film is very much going to be a huge part of this conversation, I'd like to ask you, what is your earliest memory of cinema?
My earliest memory is Bud Spencer's film called, I don't know how to translate, but it was, I think, Lo chiamavano Bulldozer. He was called Bulldozer.
So it's not even one with Terence Hill, it's just Bud Spencer?
No, just Bud Spencer, yeah,
wow.
Without Terence Hill, yeah. And my first, I would say, the first screening I attended that I remember, that I can remember. I was born and grew up in Torino, so I'm not from Veneto. I lived for 4 years, about 4 and 5 years in Venice, but I'm from Torino.
Well, there's a strong cinema presence in Torino,
Absolutely.
Right?
There is, I would say, an historical presence because it was the first Italian cinematic location in the early 20th century. There was the Torino Film Festival, the National Film Museum. So it's a very cinephile city.
Yeah, that museum is wonderful. You know, there's a difference between watching films, being a fan, and then somehow becoming professionally involved in it. So when did that begin to happen in your life?
Actually, I started with not the professional field, yes, but the research. So I was at the university. I did a PhD in film studies, focusing on French cinema, especially. I was really cinephile at the time, and first I wrote my
essay on
Jacques Rivette. And then I studied the relationship between documentaries of the French documentaries around the 50s and the Nouvelle Vague, aesthetically speaking. And then I spent 4 years in Paris for a postdoc, came back to Torino, and I started working in the organization, so more in the promotion or programming, and I used to run an association which is called Aiacio, that was the first art house cinemas association in Italy. But I worked especially on short films, and I was the director of the Italian Short Film Center. And I founded the Torino Short Film Market. That was a B2B event on short films. That means that I worked a lot on young talents and first features, but of course short films coming from short films. And finally, I found a call for applications for the Veneto Film Commission that was just born. I'm the first director ever.
All right.
So I moved to Venice, and that's why I'm here.
Poor you, moving to Venice.
Yeah, but it's a difficult city in a way.
It is. I have to be honest. Yeah, it is true, but it's beautiful. And
More than
we all
beautiful,
love Venice.
absolutely.
And we hope it stays around for a long time, right? Because there's always... No, Jacopo, very excited to hear about your background in theory and criticism and very deep thoughts and studies about film. You mentioned you're a big fan of French cinema.
Yeah.
I really had to resist asking you whether you're more on the Truffaut or Godard camp, but I'm not going to. No, let's not get lost in that.
I have to answer Godard.
Oh, wow.
I also wrote a book on À bout de souffle. Breathless.
Wonderful. What a formative experience it was watching that film for the first time. I still remember where and how and what.
The Breathless, you mean?
Yeah, incredible movie. We cannot keep talking about this. I love these conversations. We'll expand on it one day for sure. But let's talk about Veneto, right? What do you think are the core strengths of the region?
You know, when you do this kind of a job as a film commissioner, you have to understand I would say the potentialities of the region.
Yeah, the potential.
The potential of the region. Veneto is very various landscapes. It's a lot of variety in terms of landscapes, which is the first strongness of the region. We don't have so much industry. So in terms of crews, we are working on trainings, and we use, as a lot of regions in Italy, film funds. So the problem is for us to coordinate all these aspects, of this part of the same aim, would say.
So a very important part of what the Commission does is actually nurture it, grow it, right? Develop it, evolve, make sure that there's enough people, that you create a talent pool of skilled people to overlook different aspects of the industry.
On a hand. And on the other hand, you need to promote the region as a location. That's why I'm here. I go to all the markets, main markets in Europe, because we need to attract productions. But companies need trained people, crews. Yeah. That's why we are also working on that.
You need a reason to go. Because at the end of the day...
Because incentives are okay, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. That's right. Well, can you give me some examples of some projects that have been, produced there and with the Commission, with the collaboration of the Commission recently, or also upcoming that we can talk about?
Yeah, I can present you different examples. First, maybe one of the most recent, it's still a work in progress. No, not really, almost finished, is the last Pietro Marcello's film.
Oh, wow.
It's a biopic on Eleonora Duse, the famous Italian actress. So we have great expectations on that. It was shot mainly in Venice, but also Asolo is represented through other locations. But Asolo is a beautiful village in Veneto. And speaking about art house film, is the film we are expecting something like an important festival selection. We have several shows like Un Passo dal Cielo, which is well known in Italy and also sold in a lot of countries. The last Kenneth Branagh's film, Haunting in Venice.
Yeah.
We did the location scouting with Kenneth Branagh. It was amazing. I don't know if you had the chance to watch the film on Disney Plus.
Not yet? Not yet. I will, though, because Kenneth Branagh
it's for families, I would say.
Really?
It's nice.
Well, it's a major motion picture.
Absolutely.
That's for sure, yeah.
It's a major motion picture. Yeah, so we have commercial films, shows, TV shows, and art house films.
Art house films, yeah.
And, our effort is to promote and to try to bring productions outside Venice.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, exactly. Interact with other parts of the world.
Absolutely.
Not just.
Yeah.
When we talk about the audiovisual industry, one thing that I'm becoming increasingly aware of is the fact that there's a lot of changes that took place since the pandemic. We're talking about cultural, but also technological. A lot of concerns about the future of not only filmmaking, but just in general audiovisual content, TV series and whatnot. How do you feel about the current moments? Is there reason to be more concerned about the future or look at the potentials as positives?
Listen, we started more than 2 years ago to set up a school with the Centro Sperimentale di Cinematografia, which is the National Film School based in Rome. You know that the National Film School has regional branches, departments, I would say. They founded a regional department in Venice on virtual reality, actually on XR, extended reality.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
It's on the San Servolos Island in the Venetian Lagoon. It's just next to the Lido.
Yeah. And
it's a school on the new technologies, so the immersive technologies. And now these trainings are very short, but it will be the first training year very soon. Yeah, so that means a lot of time we are working on new technologies. And we also supported a company based in Veneto on virtual production, which is a difficult market in Italy.
What is virtual production? What do you mean?
Virtual production means Mandalorian. You know, it's
okay. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about like virtual studios and stuff.
LED screens.
LED screens.
Yeah, it's like the death of the green screen. Or an evolution of the green screen.
Evolution, yeah.
But of course, the Unreal Engine, which is the same technology used by video games, basically.
Yeah.
So it's interactive. The shooting is interactive with the landscape, the scene.
And positive for the environment, I guess, when we look at those things.
Yes,
too.
but it's very difficult to spread this technology in Italy.
Is
apparently? Yeah.
Obviously, we're here at the AVP Summit. There's a lot of people from different parts of the world. So what is your perception of how Italy is able to embrace these changes compared to other territories? Because obviously, you were talking about Veneto Film Commission.
Yeah.
What you're saying, it sounds like you guys have been pioneering some of this thing. You know, you're talking about immersive experiences, VR, all of this stuff. But how do you feel the nation as a whole?
The nation is, on a hand, a bit slow. On the other hand, with a lot of ideas. So it's probably the Italian history. We have a lot of probably talent, ideas, but we are today. There was the head of Sony International. They did a brilliant keynote. It was like. You Italian, you are too shy. You produce. If it was a British, no, it's true. Also in relationships between international relationships, Italy is slower than other European countries, of course. But of course, we have a lot of potential because the landscapes, because of the stories that Italy can tell. So it's a bit contradictory. I have this feeling about the country.
Yeah, it sounds like what you're saying is Italy may be a little slower getting there, but it gets there eventually.
Yeah.
I think also it's because it's kind of like to do justice to the great tradition that Italy has of producing amazing audiovisual works, the history of cinema.
It's a heavy tradition.
Isn't it? Yeah.
When I go abroad and, I don't know, in other countries, and every time we are talking about Fellini, Antonioni, it's killer for the contemporary cinema.
Well, Jacopo, we've introduced a lot of great topics here. And a lot of really cool conversation. We also explored your cinephilia. But one of the things that I'm doing here at the AVP Summit, again, to escape the kind of cold and distant nature of industry-based conversations, is I've been asking my guests during these 2 days about, sometimes in life we go through these moments when we're really like stressed or we're just down. We don't feel great. So one of the ways that we counter it, generally speaking, is we put on something, a movie, a series that is just comfort viewing, that just makes us feel good. It could be guilty pleasure. It doesn't have to be, but also it doesn't even have to be a movie. It can be, or fiction. It can be nonfiction. It can be sports, sometimes. Do you have something like that you like to put on when you're kind of down on yourself a little bit and you're looking for lifting your spirits up?
Maybe music more than films.
Okay.
I don't know which, but it's more music than films.
Well, music is another great passion of mine. Jacopo. So any go-to bands or style of music that you like?
Probably Beethoven or techno.
Gotcha. Whoa.
Yeah.
They are related somehow in my mind. I love it. Jacopo, well, thank you very much. It's been such a great conversation. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this conversation from the Audiovisual Producers Summit of 2024, taking place in Reggio Calabria, Italy. And let me take this opportunity to remind you that there's plenty more great podcast conversations with film industry professionals, audiovisual professionals, and creatives from all over the world that you can discover over at filmverdictnetwork.com, whether you work in the audiovisual industry or would like to find out more about it. And to make sure you never miss an episode, you can look for us by entering TFV Network and following us wherever you get your podcasts from. Till the next time, from The Film Verdict, this is Matt Micucci signing off. See you soon.